We can prevent disappearances of children. As a parent myself, I tell my son, do not talk to strangers. Then I contradict myself by telling him say goodbye to the nice bag boy at the grocery store. I personally realize that my child does not recognize when it's alright to talk to a stranger. As parents, we do not realize the danger we put our children in on a daily basis. Danger for our children lurks everywhere. From a child's eyes, they do not see a stranger. They see a person that their parents have taught them not to talk to, but to also speak to, so that they do not seem rude. Parents need to make it simple. They are kids, not people who fully comprehend complicated instructions. Every year, about 800,000 children are abducted, and about 100 of those children are found dead. It's a scary thought that never crosses any parent's mind until it's too late. Losing a child of any age is a nightmare to any parent. Just recently, the parents of a 20-year-old Morgan Dana Harrington found out how it feels to have your child disappear. On October 17th of 2009, Morgan was last seen at a Metallica concert at the John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. Morgan was a 20-year-old student at Virginia Tech. She was last seen hitchhiking for a ride while on Copley Road Bridge. In the above case, the parents are able to hold on to the hope that their child will one day return home to them. In other cases, the parents lose all hope when their abducted child turns up dead. It is a very sad fact that happens to about 100 families every year, according to reports from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Just recently, a mother had to face her fear. Her child's name was Summer Thompson. Summer was a 7-year-old little girl that had a twin brother and another sister. About 3 weeks ago, while walking home from her Orange Park school, she was abducted. Then, as her family feared for her safety, 2 days later, her body was found in a landfill in Folkestone, Georgia. This was a horrible tragedy that is still unsolved. As these parents' stories bother us, but after a while we forget them. We should not, because it's our job as parents to prevent them from happening to our children and to keep our kids safe. There are 5 basic steps to help ensure our kids' safety. Step 1 is to make a plan. When I say make a plan, I mean to make sure that you have several recent photos of each of your children from many different angles. You should also have your children's fingerprints. Many local police stations or courthouses sponsor free programs that are designed for parents to bring their children in and have them fingerprinted. This program puts the children's fingerprints in a database that is designed to help find missing children. And just in case it happens to your child, it's a great idea to have this done. Another great thing is to have an old toothbrush or hairbrush sealed in a brown envelope for DNA. Step 2 is to be informed. You should know where your children are at all times and have all the appropriate numbers. Not just the numbers to where your children are, but also the number to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1-800-THE-LOST, or 1-800-843-5678. Step 3 is to teach your children to self-protect. To be self-protect means to be able to recognize danger, who, what, and where. By who, I mean anyone that is asking them to do something that they feel is not right. By what, I mean adults do not ask children for help, or if someone is touching them or asking them to get into an unfamiliar car. By where, I mean if an adult that you do not know asks you to meet at a second location. Step 4 is to listen and look. You should always listen to your children talking to see if they have met someone that they should not be in their life. When you pick your children up from somewhere, you should look around to see if there are people out of place or walking around. Be sure to monitor what your children are doing on the internet. Most predators want to lure their prey over the internet and meet them in real life. Lastly, step 5 is to set up their world for safety. This means to know where they are at all times, have time frames in which they should be home from school or the mall in, and know your children's locations at all times. You should also speak to your children about the do's and don'ts of protection without scaring them. You might want to mention don't get into a car with a stranger, or never go to a second location with someone that you do not know. You may also want to mention the do's. Always stay with a friend, and let your parents know where you are at all times. There are steps that you can teach your child how to do if you're not with them to help. When a child is taken, they should, as soon as they feel an inappropriate touch, drop to the ground, kick like crazy, and yell stranger, stranger, 911 repeatedly. You should teach your children to never yell help. This is very important because sometimes people don't take the word help seriously when coming from a child's mouth, because they overuse this word when not needed. Another important thing is to teach our children how to get away if they are taken from behind. They should kick like crazy and bite the abductor. Once out of the abductor's hands, they should flop to the ground and do the same steps as before, and once able, they need to run. It is very important to practice these steps so that the children are used to the situation, and when, if it ever happens, they will not be afraid to try it. These steps listed above are very important, and I urge every parent to take action and follow these steps. Childhood safety is very important. The future of our children is in our hands. As parents, we need to prepare our children for the worst and hope for the best. If a child has been taught these things, they are more likely to escape an attack.